Hi, loved ones. The purpose of this message is to talk about the benefits of postpartum sitz baths and the herbs that are commonly used in sitz baths and the properties of those herbs. Okay? So a sitz bath is essentially a healing bath taken in warm, shallow water, enough water to cover your bottom, basically your entire genital area. And this kind of bath is beneficial because, especially postpartum, because it allows for the direct application of herbs to that region of your body. The bath is very soothing, it's healing, it deters infection, it stimulates blood flow, and it's gently cleansing, and it's also relaxing, okay, in general. I'm sharing the herbs that one might more commonly see in recipes for sitz baths, and I'm going to show you what most of those herbs look like, and also just give you the basics of their properties. I'm not an herbalist. I use a simple method of study and application. So I study natural methods of addressing my issues, and I apply them to my life and observe whether or not they are efficient. What you'll see with these herbs is that almost all of them have common properties or attributes. Most commonly, they're anti-inflammatory, they're antibacterial or antiviral or antifungal. They are generally soothing. They also provide pain relief, and wound healing, okay? And again, the direct effect of these herbs in an area that can be highly irritated and sensitive for a woman postpartum is the greatest benefit of this type of bath, okay? So let's do a little bit of show and tell now. Please don't mind me looking at my notes so I don't forget anything that I want to share, okay? So first, calendula. I'm just going to put some in my hand, okay? Calendula flowers. Here's some calendula, right? This I'm going to use the most of in my mixture. Calendula is soothing, it's anti-inflammatory, it's astringent, which means that it helps to constrict the tissues. It's also antiviral and antifungal, and it promotes wound healing, okay? The next one is chickweed. Chickweed is an herb that softens the skin, softens the surface, okay? It's really just kind of chopped up finely, all right? It's a topical remedy for itching and irritation. It also helps with cuts and wounds and helps reduce scarring, okay? St. John's wort, which we hear about a lot as it relates to mental health, is also really good for topical healing. This one looks a little more dry, brownish, kind of reminds me of oat straw, but just a little more brown. Okay, also soothing, also anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and speeds up the healing of perineal tears. So all of these are good for, again, that region of the body, your perineum, which has just been stretched out. Some people do experience some level of tearing. All of these herbs are totally safe for, again, a very gentle, just sitting in the tub, allowing the body to absorb the benefits of these herbs. All right? Witch hazel. This is the second herb that I'm using mostly in bulk in my mixture. Okay? Witch hazel is also astringent. There it is. All right? It reduces irritation and swelling. It fights bacteria. It's soothing and cooling, and it's also antiseptic. Okay, I don't have yarrow on hand. My herb shop didn't have any, haven't had any for a little bit. But yarrow is another one that you might see commonly. It treats cuts, it treats tears. It's really healing for impurities in the body, and it's also good for scrapes and wounds. And it speeds up the cleansing process. Okay, comfrey leaves. This looks like so many other herbs I've seen. It's hard for me to distinguish anything that's really special about how it looks. Okay. The comfrey is also one that speeds up wound healing. It deters scarring, so that's really good if you have had a perineal tear. It's softening, okay, to the surface of the skin. And it's what's called a demulcent, so it's like mucilaginous once it's infused, so it promotes like a healthy mucus coating to the external tissues of the body. All right, let's see, two more here. Plantain leaf. Okay, that one's kind of hard to get out and show. There's some plantain leaf. Okay. Plantain is also anti-inflammatory. It also relieves internal inflammation. It's astringent as well. It's also demulcent, so it has that healthy slime, that healthy mucus coating to the tissues externally. It's antimicrobial, and it helps with irritation of the surface of the skin, okay, and internal irritation as well. Uva ursi, which is really good for bladder issues as well, is uva ursi, okay. Again, also astringent, also inflammatory, and helps to deter infection. And then lastly is lavender, which I've probably seen a whole lot of, okay. Generally soothing, relaxing, stress relieving, also deters infection, and is also pain relieving, okay. So what I've done is, once I mix everything up, I'm using about a cup of calendula, about half a cup of witch hazel, and about a third a cup of everything else. You don't have to be that precise. That's the mixture that I'm following. I'm putting everything in a jar. I put it in a plastic measuring cup so I can just kind of mix it up and then squeeze the cup to pour it easily into my jar, because that's simple for me. Clean jar. So then it's ready to steep, to infuse rather. So just like you would a cup of tea, I'm going to use a very large pot, like a pot I would make spaghetti in or something like that, and fill that with water. And once it comes to a low boil, I'm going to remove the heat, add all my herbs, cover them, and let them steep for about 20 minutes. And then when I'm ready to get in the tub, strain that, fill the bottom of the tub with that, and then add a little bit more hot water. Just again, so we have that covering up to the hips, if possible, the whole bottom, but essentially just the full genital area. Okay. I also have my salts, which you can add to your sitz baths, Dead Sea salt or Epsom salt. Same thing, the benefits of the salts: anti-inflammatory, soothing, healing, just like if you were playing sports or needed some muscle relaxation or had some tension, you could take an Epsom salt bath. So I'm just going to be adding about a cup of this to each of my baths as well. And the only purpose for the jar is just to have it somewhere clean, easy, already in the amount that I want, and that's how I'm going to use it. So I hope you found this helpful. I found that in all the videos I watched on sitz baths, none of them really talked about the properties of the herbs, and I think it's useful to know. Take care.